In this video, we're going to be covering the JJK anime and comparing it to its manga counterpart. We're going to be talking about all the differences, right? These are going to be things like every scene that was not adapted from the manga and the added scenes that they've added to the anime for a little bit of extra flavor. If you think we've missed anything majorly important or just more interesting, please let us know in the Discord below. There's loads of people, loads of talented people in there discussing anime every single day, and we'd love to have you. Anyway, let's get right into the video. So the first thing that one might notice is that the fight that Fushiguro has with the two guards. Fight is kind of an understatement. It's a takedown, displaying Fushiguro's new shadow abilities that he seems to have gained. It's entirely different than it is in source material. We just completely don't have this panel here for some reason or another. Instead, Fushiguro is just behind the man, not actually coming out of the shadow, but only going into the shadow as he approaches the second man, like it is in the source material. I'm not exactly sure as to why. I really think that first panel revealing that Fushiguro is doing something new is genuinely really cool, at least in layout and just design. So I'm kind of confused as to why they didn't use it. But, you know, Fushiguro or farming behind someone is also pretty good. The next biggest difference I noticed was with Panda. Now, Panda is Chef's Kiss. He's one of my favorite characters ever since we saw that opening animation in season 1. Compared to the anime, well, he is climbing the stairs. He comes across two guards, and one's eating a sausage. They say something along the lines of, he's pretty cool and cute, I wonder if he eats fish sausage. And the other guy says, this is the panda from the tournament. That's when Panda strikes. But in the anime, pandas don't eat fish sausage, they eat bamboo. And this is like a trigger for Panda, so he goes in. But that's not present in the manga. Not only that, but Panda takes down both these guys in one panel and then is seen climbing the stairs again as he stuffs his face with the fish sausage with the two guys in the background lying down. This shot is just not in the anime in any way, shape, or form. And also, the layout of the incapacitated guards is also vastly different. I feel like they need to just shoot through these as fast as possible to get to the main meat of this episode. Which is, you know, good and bad in ways. Gives characters slightly less development in order to trade it for a more impactful fight. Depending on which category of fan you are, that's either a good or a bad thing. And what a big fight it is. It's basically the entire episode, and it's been a while since we got a full episode long fight. And this fight is a more interesting one. It's the first fight in Jujutsu Kaisen that follows this trend for the culling games where they're not traditional curse techniques. Some, you know, very easily understood and simple. They become far more complicated with rule sets that need to be followed or broken depending on the ability. Far more like a JoJo stand fight than what we've seen in the series so far. And it's, as I said, it's the first of many this season. Okay, super quick before we get back into manga versus anime, I need to show you today's sponsor, Polybuzz. It's an app where you can chat with characters and other chatbots. And you can create your own character, like I have here, Josephu. So just type that into Polybuzz and you can have a chat with me, I guess. So while I'm looking at this panel, sometimes, maybe, my brain won't be working very well, and I might need to ask advice from some people from within the universe of JJK. So I thought I'd ask Gojo what he thought of it. Gojo, rate this panel on a scale of 1 to 10. No, actually, Gojo, rate this panel on a scale of, nah, I'd win, or yikes, I'm getting sealed. Right, okay. Okay, he's not being very helpful. Let's ask Yuji. Same message, Yuji, boom. Oh, he's concerned for me, that's cool, but why? Okay, cool. These guys don't know a thing about manga, apparently. Look, these two bots mightn't have been the most accurate. Sure, they acted as a character, but they're not as good as my bot, the Josephu bot. Ask him any question about the channel and about me, and it's gonna be cinema, trust me. Don't be weird, okay? Just don't be weird. So if you want to use Polybuzz app on your phone, desktop, or any mobile device, and use code JOSI26 for 3-day premium free trial. And if that doesn't pop up, just use the app's newest version and it will. I'm going to put the link and code in the description and pinned comment down below, so check either of those if it's something that you think you want to check out. Alright, now back into the breakdown. Obviously throughout the fight, there is loads of what we see in every episode. Black panels or flashback panels of previous art to give information or for some form of emphasis maybe. And sometimes that works very well in manga. I will say, Gege is very fond of using just a white panel with some text and a face, or black panel with just text. And although that's fine. You shoot past it as fast as you want or as slow as you want because it's a manga. You read it at your own pace. You control the pace of the manga. However, in anime, that just doesn't work. It's just not an option. And what they do is phenomenal. As I said, Mappa are very good at filling in these blank spaces with added dynamic shots or even just showing us the environment because it sets the stage for what's to come. So as I've been saying all this, a few examples have popped up on the screen and obviously you can see what I'm talking about. Another big difference I noticed is how they adapted the reaction to Satoru Gojo being sealed. Although the initial reaction is really good, the reaction of Fushiguro and Panda really just fell super flat in my opinion. In the manga, it's this imposing panel. You can move on as slow or fast with it as you want, but for some reason they hold on this for a really long time with no sound effects or any music to emphasize the moment. It's just those two voice actors saying the line at the same time, and it comes across really limpy to me. And I love the way that they didn't shy away too much from the rabbit gore, although it is slightly censored than compared to its manga counterpart in many ways. There's just not pools of rabbit blood going everywhere. But all that being said, it's at least they paid homage to the gore by just eviscerating this one poor guy. And in my opinion, the anime did a much more organic explanation of the curse technique. See, these here are the charts that we get in the manga. Fairly confusing, to be honest, and visually they're just not very interesting to look at. However, the anime decided, well, if this is based off a star constellation, then let's use that to explain the technique, grounding it not only in sort of realism, but also thematically correct. We suddenly are looking up at the sky in the same scene, rather than basically be taken to a whiteboard in a classroom to be explained an ability completely outside of the fight in question. Very organic, very nice. Mappa loves adapting blank panels into something genuinely cinematic. Also, the section with the car is vastly different. There's no massive stomp on the hood. Holy. And also, Fushiguro isn't in the car while all those parts come to crush him and stab through the car, trying to impale him. Instead, it's just a big clump, and it's revealed that he switched places with his demon dog. If I was to pick a favorite, I do prefer Fushiguro being in the car. It's just more of an interesting concept to me than, you know, somebody basically getting sand-tombed with just random shit that's around the place. And it makes more sense that the car can block it while he reacts to switching with the dog. However, it's not manga accurate in that way, I suppose. And also, as Fushiguro thanks his sister, because it's only because of her that he can even take a guess as to what this cursed ability is, that's all just a little final page chapter thing. That's not even necessarily like super canon. It's just something to have at the end, just to pay homage as to where Fushiguro got that information from. And it's at the end of the chapter. But in the anime, Fushiguro thanks his sister during the fight. Of course, it was all internal and just in his, own head. But still, it's a nice addition to add, once again, information that was taken away from the current scene and adding it in to make the scene flow far more fluid than just separate pieces of information breaking up the fight. Really well done, in my opinion. And that's all the main differences that we saw in the manga today. Some good and bad news. I have high hopes for JJK on this channel, and it hasn't gone exactly according to plan. So that's fine. And what we're going to do is we're pivoting. I'm going to do a weekly stream where I talk about the differences from now on, instead of doing single episodes, because these take a long time to edit. And I was planning on doing it for multiple shows this season, but that means that I have to 1, read all the manga, 2, watch all the episodes, and then 3, record the video, edit the video, make the thumbnail. It's just a lot of work, and I realized I was half-assing every element of the video production. Like, you'll notice for the One Punch Man series that the first few episodes are of a much higher caliber than the latter episodes because of burnout. That's really, to be honest. And although I would be happy to continue this the way I've been doing it if the videos were doing well, but they're not. So I'm going to be streaming this sort of layout, and I will do other anime in those streams. So I'll be doing those streams weekly on Saturdays at this time here. If that's something you're interested in watching, I would really love to have you. But that kind of begs the question as to what I'm doing in terms of videos. I'm going to be spending less time, or I'm going to be uploading a lot less. See, during One Punch Man, I was uploading 3 times a week, and now I've gone down to 1 a week. And now I'm going to go down to 1 every 2 weeks. Is the aim. I could be faster, I could be quicker. It depends on the topic and the quality I put into the videos, because they're going to be way fucking better. I'm not really happy with the sort of slop I've been producing over the past 2 months or so, and it's time for a change. So I'm really glad to see what you think of the next video. It is JJK related. I think you'll like it.